Hello, kids! You're watching an interactive story app by BH Media. The cat is a beautiful animal, isn't it? It was said that a smart cat helped his poor master become a rich marquis and even marry a beautiful princess. Let's make friends with this special cat through the Grimm Brothers fairy tale, Puss in Boots. Once upon a time, there lived a poor miller, who, when he died, left nothing more for his 3 sons than his mill, his donkey, and his cat. The oldest son quickly took the mill, the second the donkey, and the youngest was left with the cat. I'm the oldest, I get the mill. I get the donkey.
Meow meow.
Oh,
Meow.
but... The youngest was quite unhappy. The oldest has the mill to mill flour, and the second has the donkey to carry goods. But what can I do with that poor cat? He muttered to himself. Suddenly, the cat stood up and said to him with a serious tone, "Do not worry yourself, my good master. Give me a big bag and have a pair of boots made for me, and then you will see that I am not as bad an inheritance as you imagine." The youngest was very surprised when he heard this. However, he had often seen the cat play many clever tricks to catch rats and mice, so he agreed. Poor me. All I can do is make myself a muff from his skin. But then I must die of hunger.
Meow meow.
Give me a big bag and have a pair of boots made for me. I'll help you change your life. Oh, you can speak? When the pair of boots was made, the cat booted himself. He then put barley into his bag and threw it over his shoulder. He stepped out on 2 legs and headed to the forest. The cat went to the dense forest where there was a great many rabbits. He left the top of his bag wide open, held the string, and hid himself in a sheltered spot. After a while, young rabbits started coming near the bag and eating the barley. Some foolish rabbits jumped into his bag. The cat immediately drew the string and caught all of them. Gotcha! The cat then went straight to the king's palace. Making a low bow, he said to the king, "I have brought you, sir, rabbits, which my noble lord, the Marquis of Carabas, has asked me to present to your majesty from him." In truth, the Marquis of Carabas was the title that the clever cat gave his poor master. The king was pleased with the gift. The cat went to the forest the next day. In this manner, he presented him with rare animals for months. He was given a lot of gold and silver, which he then brought to his master. "I have brought you, sir, rabbits, which my noble lord, the Marquis of Carabas, has asked me to present to your majesty from him." "Good, very good. Hey, talking cat, tell your master that I thank him." "Thank you, your majesty." One day, the cat heard that the king and his beautiful daughter were going out. He ran home and said to his master, "If you follow my advice, you will live a much more comfortable life. All you have to do is go and bathe yourself in the river at the place I show you. Then leave the rest to me." Because he already trusted him, The youngest son did what the cat advised, without knowing why. A handsome guy! A handsome guy!
There's an intruder! There's an intruder! Rah! Meow meow!
Master, it's urgent. If you want to change your life, follow me and go to the river. Okay. Right now? While the youngest was bathing, the king's coach passed by, and the cat began to cry out, "Help! Help!" The king recognized him, so he stopped immediately. The cat told the king that while his master was bathing, a thief stole his clothes. In truth, the cat had hidden the clothes under a large stone. The king immediately ordered his officers to fetch the best suit for the Lord Marquis of Carabas. When the youngest was dressed in the fine clothes, he looked like a real marquis. The king then allowed him to get into the coach and take a ride with them. The princess liked him at first sight. Your Majesty, here is my lord, the Marquis of Carabas. I am the Marquis of Carabas. It is my great pleasure to meet you and your daughter. Wow! Is this the master of that special cat? In the meantime, the cat ran on ahead of the carriage and reached a green meadow where farmers were cutting the grass. He said to them, "My good fellows, if you do not tell the king that the meadow you are mowing belongs to my lord Marquis of Carabas, you will be punished." Frightened by his strange and impressive appearance, when the king drove by and asked them who owned the meadow, the farmers answered all together, just as the cat had ordered them. "My good fellows, if you do not tell the king that the meadow you are mowing belongs to my lord Marquis of Carabas, you will be punished." Tell me, who does this meadow belong to? Your Majesty, it belongs to my lord, Marquis of Carabas. The cat still ran ahead and reached a vast field of barley, where there were more farmers busy at work. He said to them, "Good people, if you do not tell the king that this field of barley belongs to the Marquis of Carabas, you will be punished." The cat's threats had scared the farmers, so they followed what he said. The king was astonished by the vast estates of the Lord Marquis of Carabas. He was very pleased. "If you do not tell the king that this field of barley belongs to the Lord Marquis of Carabas, you will be punished." Who does this field of barley belong to? It belongs to the Lord Marquis of Carabas, Your Majesty. The cat came at last to a huge castle, the lord of which was a wicked ogre with a lot of magic. He owned the vast meadow and barley field the cat had just passed by. The cat paid his respects to him and said in a serious voice, "I have been told that you can change yourself into any animal you want. You can, for example, change yourself into a lion or an elephant." "I can. It's an easy thing for me. Watch this," said the ogre very quickly, and he instantly changed into a lion. The master cat was very terrified. "What is your business here, imp?" "I have heard about you for a long time, So now I expect to see your power to change yourself into any creature you like. Oh, not a big deal. Keep your eyes open. That's amazing. Do you know how wonderful I am? That's amazing. After a while, the ogre returned to his natural form. The cat reassured himself and said to the ogre, "Awesome, but I wonder if you have the power to change yourself into a little animal, like a mouse. That must be impossible." "Impossible? Oh, as easy as pie. You will see," cried the ogre. And in a moment, he changed himself into a mouse and began to run about the floor. Immediately, the cat fell upon him and ate him up. So, the wicked ogre was gone. Great, but I can't believe that you can change yourself into the smallest of animals. For example, a rat or a mouse. That's quite impossible. Impossible? That's very easy. You will see. Stupid ogre. By this time, the king had arrived at the castle. The cat ran to the gate and said, "Welcome, your majesty, to the castle of the Marquis of Carabas." Entering the stately castle, the king was overwhelmed by bright rooms full of treasures. He was very pleased, and his daughter, the beautiful princess, had fallen madly in love with the youngest. The king said, "It will be your own fault, my lord Marquis, if you do not become my son-in-law." Of course, the youngest was overjoyed to accept the honor that His Majesty conferred upon him. The two were married that very same day, and they lived happily with the cat forever and ever. That's the end of the story. Do you see that our cat is very wise and clever? Have you ever had your own pet? I hope you will have lovely, smart, and loyal friends like this Master Cat. Goodbye, and see you next time. That's the end of the story. Goodbye.